Practice Test 5. Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Find the directions for this section of the test in your book and read along with them as they are read to you on the tape. This section tests your ability to comprehend spoken English. It is divided into 3 parts, each with its own directions. During actual exams, you are not permitted to turn the page during the reading of the directions or to take notes at any time.
Part A. Directions. Each item in this part consists of a brief conversation involving 2 speakers. Following each conversation, a third voice will ask a question. You will hear the conversations and questions only once, and they will not be written out. When you have heard each conversation and question, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then, fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Here is an example. You will hear,
"Do you think I should leave this chair against the wall or put it somewhere else?"
Over by the window, I'd say.
"What does the woman think the man should do?" You will read, A. Open the window. B. Move the chair. C. Leave the room. D. Take a seat. From the conversation, you find out that the woman thinks the man should put the chair over by the window. The best answer to the question, "What does the woman think the man should do?" is B. Move the chair. You should fill in B on your answer sheet. Now, let's begin with the first conversation. Number 1.
I thought you were going to pick up some strawberries to have after dinner.
"I went by Bailey's Market to get some, but they were fresh out."
What does the man mean? Number 2.
"That has to be one of the worst lectures Professor Fowles has ever given."
It certainly wasn't up to his usual standards.
What do the speakers say about Professor Fowles? Number 3.
"I hate missing breakfast."
Me too. But if we'd stopped for breakfast, we would have missed the appointment.
What did the speakers do this morning? Number 4.
"I bought a new bicycle this week."
Glad to hear it. What kind?
What does the woman ask the man about the bicycle? Number 5.
"Have you ever watched that program Family Tree on television?"
Well, I tried to a couple of times.
What does the woman imply about the program? Number 6.
Let's make some sandwiches before we go. Then we won't have to eat lunch at the ski lodge.
"That's not a bad idea. The restaurant there is so expensive."
What will the speakers probably do? Number 7.
"I had to miss Dr. Hudson's first class. What was the lecture about?"
For one thing, she talked about the differences between planets and stars.
What course does Professor Hudson probably teach? Number 8.
"If you'd like to sing along, here are the lyrics for that song."
Oh, I already know them by heart.
What does the woman mean? Number 9.
Excuse me, do you know where the Admiral Hotel is?
"I can't say that I do. Why don't you walk over and ask that taxi driver? He should know."
What does the man suggest the woman do? Number 10.
Tim sure got these clean. I'll say, you can hardly tell that there are panes of glass in them.
What are the 2 speakers probably discussing? Number 11.
What time is Dean Metzger's reception tonight? 7?
That's tonight?
What had the man not been aware of? Number 12.
Weren't you in my advanced math class last semester?
Me? You must be joking. I can barely add 2 and 2 together.
What does the man imply? Number 13.
You let Vince plan this event?
This time, but never again.
What does the woman imply about Vince? Number 14.
What was the matter with Jack last night?
I don't know. He was a nervous wreck, though, wasn't he?
What do the speakers say about Jack? Number 15.
I just walked by Professor Dixon's classroom, and there was no one in there.
That's because he always takes his class outside when the weather is nice.
What can be inferred from this conversation? Number 16.
On second thought, I'm going to take statistics instead of computer science.
Are you sure this time?
What does the man tell the woman? Number 17.
What did you think of the opera you saw Saturday night?
Frankly, I don't have much to compare it with.
What does the man imply? Number 18.
Here's the tape, some scissors, and some brown paper.
Thanks. Now, I just need to find Richard's address.
What is the man probably going to do? Number 19.
Bob was late for the dinner because he was helping his roommate.
Isn't that just like Bob?
What does the woman imply about Bob? Number 20.
What did you think of Brenda's story?
To tell you the truth, I found it hard to keep a straight face while she was telling it.
How did the man feel about the story? Number 21.
Is this Dr. Goldsmith's office?
No, this is room 301. Dr. Goldsmith's office is right downstairs from here.
Where is Dr. Goldsmith's office? Number 22.
I saw Suzanne at the meeting this afternoon.
Yeah, she was the last person I expected to see there.
What does the man imply about Suzanne? Number 23.
Marie's picture was in the newspaper.
Oh? What for?
What does the woman ask? Number 24.
Traffic was so bad on the way to the airport that I almost missed my flight to Boston.
I could have told you that it would be.
What does the woman mean? Number 25.
That seafood restaurant on College Avenue is going to close down after just 2 months.
So I heard. Too bad.
What does the man mean? Number 26.
Here you are, sir. A hamburger and a large drink.
Wait a second. That's what you call large?
What does the man imply? Number 27.
Peter, want to play softball?
No, I have to go down to the lumber yard now. I'm building some bookshelves.
What will Peter probably do next? Number 28.
No, Emma's not here. She went to choir practice.
Oh, she must be feeling much better then.
What had the man assumed about Emma? Number 29.
How did you find out about this lecture series?
Just through word of mouth.
What does the woman say about the lecture series? Number 30.
Have you decided whether you're staying at the Buckley House or the Sherman Hotel during the conference?
I didn't have to decide. The Buckley was already completely booked.
What can be inferred from this conversation?
This is the end of Part A. Go on to Part B. Now read along with the directions for Part B in your book as they are read to you on the tape.
Part B. Directions. This part of the test consists of extended conversations between two speakers. After each of these conversations, there are a number of questions. You will hear each conversation and question only once, and the questions are not written out. When you have heard the questions, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Don't forget, during actual exams, taking notes or writing in your test book is not permitted. Now let's begin Part B with the first conversation. Questions 31 to 33. Listen to a conversation between two students.
Hey, Amy, where are you off to?
To the recreation center. I've got a physical education class.
What course are you taking?
Fencing.
Oh, really? Was it hard?
I was in the fencing club in high school, so for me it's mostly review.
I once heard someone call fencing the thinking person's sport. Would you agree with that?
It does require lots of concentration, and if you want to win matches, tactics are important, just like in a game of chess.
And I suppose you have to be fast and strong to win.
Speed is important, and agility, but you don't have to be particularly strong to be a good fencer. The main reason I like fencing, though, is that it's great exercise. I find an hour of fencing is as good a workout as, say, an hour of tennis.
Number 31. What is the woman going to do? Number 32. Which of the following does the woman say is not particularly important in fencing? Number 33. Why does the woman compare fencing to tennis? Questions 34 to 37. Listen to a conversation in a university bookstore.
That comes to $160.
$160? I just can't believe how expensive textbooks are. And that's just for required texts. Why, if I had to buy all the books on my suggested reading list, I'd have to take out a bank loan.
You could save some money if you bought used texts, you know.
I suppose. But it's hard for me to study from a text that's been marked up. Tell me, if I don't need some of these books, can I get a full refund?
Sure. If the professor changes his mind about a book or if you drop a course, just return it and we'll give you your money back, but only for the first 3 weeks of class. So don't write your name in the text or mark it up until you're sure you're going to keep it all semester.
And what about at the end of the semester? What's your buyback policy?
As long as the books are in reasonably good condition and they're going to be used in class the next semester, we'll give you 50% of their original value, even if you didn't buy them at this store. Of course, if a professor changes texts or if a new edition comes out, we won't buy them back at all.
50%? That's all?
Well, I suppose that doesn't sound like much, but that's the store policy.
Number 34. What is the man buying? Number 35. At what point in the semester does this conversation take place? Number 36. If the man sells all the books that he buys today back to the store at the end of the semester, he receive. Number 37. Why would the bookstore not buy back the man's books at any price?
This is the end of Part B. Go on to Part C. Now read along with the directions for Part C in your book as they are read to you on the tape.
Part C. Directions. This part of the test consists of several talks, each given by a single speaker. After each of these talks, there are a number of questions. You will hear each talk and question only once, and the questions are not written out. When you have heard each question, read the 4 answer choices and select the one, A, B, C, or D, that best answers the question based on what is directly stated or on what can be inferred. Then fill in the space on your answer sheet that matches the letter of the answer that you have selected. Here is an example. You will hear,
Students, this evening we'll have a chance to observe a phenomenon that we've discussed several times in class. Tonight there will be a lunar eclipse. As we've said, when an eclipse of the moon occurs, the Earth passes between the sun and the moon. Therefore, the shadow of the Earth moves across the surface of the moon and obscures it. Because you won't be looking at the sun, it is not necessary to use the special lenses and filters that you need when observing a solar eclipse. You can observe a lunar eclipse with your unaided eye, or with a telescope, and photograph it with an ordinary camera. So if the weather's not cloudy tonight, go out and take a look at this eclipse of the moon. I'm sure you'll find it interesting.
Now, here is a sample question. You will hear, in what course is this lecture probably being given? You will read, A, philosophy, B, meteorology, C, astronomy, D, photography. The lecture concerns a lunar eclipse, a topic that would typically be discussed in an astronomy class. The choice that best answers the question, in what course is this lecture probably being given, is C, astronomy. You should fill in C on your answer sheet. Here is another sample question. You will hear, according to the speaker, which of the following occurs during a lunar eclipse? You will read, A, the Earth's shadow moves across the moon. B, clouds block the view of the moon. C, the moon moves between the Earth and the sun. D, the sun can be observed without special equipment. From the lecture, you learn that a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth moves between the sun and the moon, and the shadow of the Earth passes across the moon. The choice that best answers the question, according to the speaker, which of the following occurs during a lunar eclipse, is A, the Earth's shadow moves across the moon. Don't forget, during actual exams, taking notes or writing in your test book is not permitted. Now let's begin Part C with the first talk. Questions 38 to 42. Listen to a presentation given in an architecture class.
Good afternoon, everyone. As you all know, our class project was to investigate some unconventional styles of housing and report on one. The one I chose is called the Earthship. It was developed by an architect named Michael Reynolds about 25 years ago, and there are about 1,000 of them in existence today. One remarkable thing about the Earthship is that it is built almost entirely of recycled materials. The exterior walls are made of used tires packed with soil. Aluminum cans are tucked between the tires, and the exterior walls are coated with straw and mud. Interior walls are made of cement and glass bottles. This may not sound very attractive, But to learn more about these houses, I visited one not too far from here, and I can tell you the finished building is very beautiful. And these houses use no outside electricity. They generate electricity from rooftop solar panels. They produce no sewage and don't pump water from the ground. So what about costs? You can buy a book describing the building process for around $25 and architectural drawings for $2,000. A small basic house called a nest can be built for about $35,000. Larger earthships can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I've brought a small model of an earthship that I built myself. I hope that when I graduate and am designing houses myself, I can incorporate some of these ideas into my own designs. So, come on up and take a close look at it.
Number 38. Who is the speaker? Number 39. Which of these would not be needed to build an earthship? Number 40. What did the speaker do to research her project? Number 41. According to the speaker, what is a nest? Number 42. What did the speaker bring with her?
Questions 43 to 46. Listen to an announcement made on a university radio station.
The Central State University School of Engineering invites you to go fly a kite. That is, once you've designed it. This weekend, the 3rd annual kite competition will take place. Building a kite poses a number of engineering problems, and we want to see how you solve them. As in the 2 previous years, there are lots of prizes. There will be prizes for the kite with the largest surface area and for the kite with the smallest. For the kite that can lift the heaviest load and for the kite made from the most unusual material. There's even one for the funniest kite. Of course, all winning kites must be working models. You must be able to fly them at least 100 feet in the air. You don't have to be an engineering student to compete. All interested students at Central State are invited to enter. Preliminary events take place Saturday in the common south of the engineering tower. Final events will be held at the stadium on Sunday afternoon.
Number 43. According to the speaker, how many times has the kite competition been held before this year? Number 44. Which of the following would win a prize in the kite competition? Number 45. According to the speaker, who is eligible to enter the kite competition? Number 46. According to the speaker, when and where will the final portion of the kite competition be held? Questions 47 to 50. Listen to part of a lecture given in an anthropology class.
Students, have you ever been to a potluck dinner where all the guests bring a different dish? The English word potluck is believed to come from an American Indian word, potlatch. Today, we're going to continue our discussion of Native American ceremonies by taking a look at this fascinating ceremonial activity, the potlatch. The potlatch was practiced among all the tribes of Native Americans who lived in the Pacific Northwest region of North America. Among members of these cultures, the concepts of prestige and rank were very important, and potlatches were the primary way to advance their social position. The potlatch reached its most elaborate form among a tribe called the Kwakiutl, who lived in British Columbia, Canada. Potlatches were held to commemorate important events in the families of the hosts, such as births, naming ceremonies, or marriages. After feasting and dancing, the host would give away valuable gifts, such as blankets, jewelry, or food. So, potlatches were a little like our birthday parties in reverse. At potlatches, the host might also throw copper money into the sea and destroy some of his most valuable possessions, such as canoes. As for the guests at potlatches, well, it was their turn next. They were required to hold potlatches of their own and to give away even more valuable gifts than they had received. As you can see, potlatches were a form of investment.
Number 47. What is the speaker primarily describing in this talk? Number 48. According to the speaker, which of the following groups held potlatches? Number 49. According to the speaker, what was a host's primary purpose for having a potlatch? Number 50. Why does the speaker refer to a potlatch as a form of investment?
This is the end of Section 1, Listening Comprehension. Stop work on Section 1. This is the end of the listening program for Peterson's TOEFL Success. Practice test.